Okay, so this is a follow-up to the video that I made yesterday about applying a Daniel Field natural hair colour to my grey hair. Yesterday I read the instructions and it advised that you need to wash, just shampoo only, wash your hair 24 hours in advance, which I did. And now I'm ready to get on with the dyeing process. So before we start, I must say I've just read the Daniel Field guide to colouring grey hair at home. And yeah, I'm not entirely happy with the message. There was a survey conducted, apparently, where the results came back as that some women had said that grey hair is unattractive. And glad they put this one in quotes. It gives you a I don't care appearance. Okay. And then later on, further down the leaflet, the PDF, which you can find online, it said that grey hair is seldom attractive unless you've got a certain skin tone, which I take offence to, and I think, you know, it does an injustice to all the beautiful grey-haired women of the world. So, you know, although I'm not quite ready to embrace the grey yet, I do feel like we should be having a bit of a more positive attitude towards a natural process of going grey, which is not unattractive in all cases. It's just a preference that you may want to try and cover it or not. So yeah, no more grey shaming, Daniel Field, please. Anyway, despite that, we're going to get on with it today, and we're going to see if I can kind of disguise the grey hair. So I've done a before picture, so you can see there's quite a lot of grey happening at the root. I've bought shade 61, which is lightest ash brown, and let's go mix it up. See what happens. So here's what you get with the Daniel Field hair dye. You get the applicator bottle, oops, which there's a fill line there. I'm only going to use half the amount of powder today because I just want to cover the grey, so I've made a line where the half the amount of liquid that I'm going to need to use. This is the neutral lightish ash brown shade. That's my little bottle of powder, and I'm going to use half the powder to economise. And then you've got the cap, which stops the hair drying out during the process that the dye can really take, and your instructions and the helpful hints leaflet. It says always sandwich the powder, first a centimetre of water, then the powder, then the rest of the water. Okay, so that's slightly specific, but we'll have a go. So for the hand hot water, I've decided to use the water that was boiled earlier in the kettle, which is still quite warm. Well, it's hot, but it's not scalding hot. So, you know, I don't know if that constitutes hand hot or not. I've measured out what will be half of the powder of that line there, and that's going to go into the applicator bottle, and then the water will go on top up to the half line. If you're going to do the whole lot, don't worry about halves, but I just thought I'd do bit of a smaller application just to cover the roots really. So let's go. Okay, so now the dye is mixed in with some water. It's time to shake the bottle. I'll keep my finger on the cap. It says shake it until you can't hear any noise from the water, and then it's turned into a foam. Okay, so I've applied the whole lot of the dye because half the dye, it didn't do anything. It didn't cover much at all. So I've managed to mix up the whole lot. And I've put it across the entire head. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to keep it on for an hour and 20 minutes, so that'll be ready at 1:20. So they give you a plastic cap with the dye, but that's really hard to open. So I felt like it was just a single sheet of plastic, so I had to vigorously rub it to get it open. And then they advised putting a damp towel over the top of the plastic cap to keep the hair damp so the hair dye doesn't dry out whilst it's on your head, so it takes better that way. Very glamorous, I know, but we'll see what happens. It'll actually be ready at 2:20. I miscalculated, but I'm freezing, so I want to jump in the shower now, but I've got to wait until 2:20. Okay, so this is my hair wet still. Doesn't appear to be too much grey at the root there, which is really good news so far. So let's go and dry it and see what it looks like. Okay, so I've dried my hair. Yeah, and although the colour is really lovely. I'm not sure if it's done anything. Is that not my natural colour before? Here you can see it's not touched the grey at all, unfortunately. What it might have done is it might have made them look slightly more like highlights by putting a slight touch of brown in, but nothing to really worry about, nothing to boast about. Or what I will say is the hair is in really good condition. It feels really nice, but as far as the colour goes, I don't think it's done an awful lot, unfortunately. So I'm sad. Yeah, I've still got the old grey going through it. So I think I'll have to move on to the next thing. This is the result of the Daniel Field hair dye number 61, the lightest ash brown. I love the fact there's no red there. There's no red tone, no brassy tone to the hair, and it's in a really nice condition since dyeing it. However, I have spent all day doing this hair dye and there are still grey hairs left on my head, so I'm a bit disappointed with it. My husband actually told me he couldn't tell the difference, so I don't know if that's a man thing or if that is generally that it hasn't really touched the grey. It maybe made the grey look more like highlights or lowlights or something, and maybe if you used this on more than one occasion the colour would build and then the grey would disappear or fade, which would be great, but I don't have as much faith as I would need to buy it again at £10 probably. Having said that, I will see what else is out there on the shelves, and if I can't find an ash that I'm convinced won't go red, then I might well buy it again and give it another go, but I'm not quite sure that it's done much at all to do with the grey, which is a shame. But then, can organic dyes really touch the grey? Do they have it in their locker? Are the ingredients there? Can it really cover grey? I'm not sure. I think you probably do need the chemicals in order to do so. So Helen Mirren it might be after all. I'd like to recommend it because I think it's a really good idea. I think it's really kind to the environment as well, and I'm up for anything that doesn't give you irritation on the skin, but at the same time it's got to work. And has it worked? Still on the fence. I'm still trying to decide if I think it's worked. I did take a before and after picture in the same lighting conditions so you can see the effectiveness or not. It's probably a good intermediary step if you're a bit nervous of dyeing your hair with the chemicals. It's kind of a good way to ease yourself in. I'll probably leave it for a while because I'm quite nervous of box dyes as well. I don't want to dye it and it goes red. Until I find one that I know will not do that, I'm not going near the box dyes. So, Daniel Field, what do you reckon? I dyed it 2 days ago. Yeah, I think it's okay. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I really liked the fact that the dye isn't smelly. You don't need to open the windows when you use it, and it doesn't irritate your scalp. Well, it didn't irritate my scalp. It didn't make my scalp itch. And in the end, my hair it came out to be quite a good condition, and it felt like a conditioning treatment as well. So I'm quite happy, really. Light is not too bad, but if I take you more towards the window, you can see there's probably that there are bits of grey in the hair there still, but you know, overall I'm really pleased. I would have liked it to cover more grey, and I might well try and see if it is that the product is buildable, because that could be the case. Sometimes with organic dyes, you know, you have to use them a good few times to really get the colour in there. Still at £10 I would have liked a bit more in it, like a kind of dramatic result, but then that's the switch you make, isn't it, for something that doesn't stink and burn your head, or go bright orange. With this one, I know there's not a lot of red. I know that you know, it will leave my hair in a good condition, and yeah, I think I may try one shade darker and see if it's buildable. I will obviously let you know as well as I shower and wash my hair whether or not the greys come through, how long it lasts, etc, etc. But if I do buy another one and do it again, then I shall make another video and you'll be the first to know how that goes. Thank you for joining me. If you stayed till the end of this, then well done. This wasn't an easy one, and I'll see you next time.